Hello everybody and welcome back to Project Storm. I'm Storm, and today we got a little bit more of an easy, straight to the point, fast, hopefully short video. We are going over UFO engines and how to implement them onto builds. I thought it would be nice to have a more in-depth tutorial because not many are out on the market right now. So let's get into it. First, we're going to go over ground vehicles and going over how to make a car with UFO engines. Alright, first let's make a frame so that we can get started. I'll cut to when I have one. Okay, we have a basic frame here that is ready to drive around and decent turn radius. It's just a regular car. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a UFO engine because I have to go over the biggest and main thing to get a hold of when you're building a UFO engine. Alright, so the main thing that you need to build a UFO engine is, of course, the UFO part, which is a hover pad. Now, the hover pad, as you know, has one main thing that makes a UFO engine work in, which is, I'll just call it the jet. The jet is that little blue jet type thing that is flowing out of the hover pad. So, the biggest thing that you have to know about this jet is whenever it is firing off and it is going into a block, it will output the opposite direction and it'll make tremendous force in the opposite direction of which way the jet is facing. So let's say let's just make a basic frame for the UFO engine. Let's say we have something like this where we're just completely blocking off the jet. It'll still look like it is going through the block, but it's actually not. It's going to be putting out so much downforce that I'll be able to do this. Just stay like this. And I can stick to anything. This usually takes a lot more force. And also, if you can hear it, I'm sure you can, you're going to be hearing that good old sound of the UFO engine. It's a beautiful sound. And it's basically perfect downforce. Now let's try with something else. Let's say an angled piece. So how about this? 45-degree angle. Nothing too crazy. And let's make us go forward. Alright. That's actually a UFO engine in itself. I'm not pressing anything. My hands are off my keyboard. I'm not pressing anything. And as you can see, you'll start even flying. Yep, there it is. So, this is another interesting thing about this engine. You will start hovering in very weird ways, and there are ways to harness this hovering power. But there's almost something like a seal that has to be made with the ground. And if you break that seal, well then you no longer are able to stick to the ground with downforce. You're actually going to start hovering or flying. Let me see if I can break the seal. Okay. Nope, still have the seal. It's okay. Either way, this is a very decent way of getting around. But it is not really able to be turned off unless you turn it off like this or this. There. Now I'm just down to regular good old engine controls. But if I turn back on the engine, then I'll start moving forward. It's a little bit lower acceleration, but it won't stop. You won't lose speed on turns, I don't think. Let's see. No, you do not lose speed on turns. So, it's a very powerful little type of engine. But, that's a very basic form of the UFO engine. Now, let's make it able to be toggleable. So, for this, you need one of these, and then you need 2 steering hinges. Well, it could be 1, but you know, 2, just to make it not cursed. Alright, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna place a block like this. Set the UFO or the hover pad to distance 0.5. Then for the steering hinges, make your forward button forward, make your backward button backward, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna place it at 6 angle. That should work well. Alright, now good. Now you have a fully working UFO engine on your car. You're gonna be going a lot faster, and you can take some serious jumps. Also, now that you have backwards, you can kind of control where you go in the air. Very interesting indeed. The downforce that this engine gives you is going to help you a lot, but as you can see, you're going to be very bouncy, very jumpy, so I wouldn't suggest using UFO engines on cars. We're going to get to using them on something a little bit more useful, like, well, plane. Make our frame, and then I'll cut to when I have it. Alright everyone, I have my little, I guess, little plane, and we have our engines ready to go. So, we have our hover pads, and they are not yet configured with the engine, but I will now be putting the engine in. As I said in my last video regarding the UFO engines, this is a very basic form. There are many ways to make a UFO engine, and this is not the only one, and, well, yeah, that's basically it. There are also many powerful ones, many more powerful ones. This one is pretty much, what, the least powerful? Or close to it. So, there's very much still room for growth. The fastest one that I know of that I can build goes 4,000. This one goes, what, 300 at most? So, just know, there's always room for growth. Alright, we set our button for movement, for forward, and then we set our button for backward. Set that angle to 6, and then we do the same for the other side. Make sure that the angles are going in the right direction, or else you will start spinning. Never good. Alright, and then place your little primer block. Now, take this. Let's take it up to the mountain. Now, we should press space. Okay, I forgot to put it on toggle. Let me put it on toggle. You do want to place them opposite of each other on both faces, because if you don't, then you could get some pitching down or pitching up. You want to balance out the forces. Once you do, you get something like this. Now we have a tiny little UFO engine plane. It's gonna fly very weird once you make one. Very weird. Because you will immediately see that these UFO engines have a problem where if they are upside down or facing one direction only, then they will stop working. But when they are working, you go a crisp 240 with only 2. This is about the lightest payload for engines I could put on this while making a creation. So there's room for growth. Much more room for growth, that is. Alright, but now we have to get to the last act now, don't we? Which is the sea. UFO engines on boats is kind of unheard of, and yes, they do work underwater as well. I probably should have said that. But UFO engines on water, unheard of, as I said. It's not the brightest thing you can do, but it is something that is possible. So, let me make a frame, and then I'll cut to that and get to work. Well, this is the frame we're going to work with, and we have a lot of space to put a lot of engines. Now, since you're going to have so much friction on the water, that means you can place a lot of these engines and get away with it. So, right now, we'll place 4. Why not? 4 is about all we have space for. Alright, now, let's get moving. Oh, as you see, I should say, make a lot, oh man, you need to add a lot of, what's it called? A lot of buoyancy blocks. A lot of them. Or else you are going to sink right down. So let me add more. This is probably not very sound in terms of, yeah, let me, okay, 1 second. I'll be back. Okay, this should be a little bit better, but we are probably going to fly, so let's see. Oh man, okay. Well, that's a crisp 94 on the water. I'll take that. I did not add a rudder, but we can still turn with C controls. Maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit, front heavy. Well, what's going on right now is, since there's only one axis, or one face being used by the UFO engines, when this places down, it's going to provide a lot of downforce, but forward. That's why on planes, you have to do the opposite direction, or else, well, you'll have a lot of downforce on the front of your plane. Let's just add a rudder, just to be, you know, final. And then that should be it for this tutorial. Alright, now we should have a working boat, and I thank you all for watching. I hope this was helpful, because I did see a comment about not having many tutorials on, well, how to make a UFO engine anything. So, I hope I did what I could for the community, and, well, thank you all for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me what you want to see next. And I am using a modded map. This is Madeline's map, the EXO race map. So yeah, shout out to her. And yeah, please stay good people, be awesome, and remember, we're all trail makers. So keep on creating. Peace.